Listen to the Healing Guys podcast with Hannah or Mahdi Abdulahi, which is my real name, on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast. I've been recording a lot of episodes today, so I'm kind of tired. I'm just going to share a little bit of these signs that the end of the world is coming or is happening already, which a lot of things are happening. And I was trying to show that how it's actually connected to me, since I told you I'm not a regular human like you, and I go through divine situations of being persecuted by demons like a prophet, but I'm not a prophet. Ever since before my birth, and when things got extreme for me, it was actually when the world had bad problems or bad things happen to it, which are then what the signs of the end of the world means. It just means events that will take place that are bad. And it was happening in the environments I was either living in or trying to go live in to get away from persecution in where I was living in. So I was trying to say that it's connected to me, therefore. And it's connected to the world ending overall very soon. And whoever God will choose to be a leader soon to help the world is connected to them, because they're coming soon. The devil is attacking you more because they're gonna stop him. So yeah, they believe there are many signs that will precede this leader called Mahdi Abdulahi will come, and then they believe Jesus will return, which Muslims see as a prophet. A general and very important sign is that this leader Mahdi Abdulahi will come when there is great confutation, intense disputes, and violent deaths. When people are afflicted by disturbance and experiencing great fear. You agree this is happening now, right? People are in so much fear, so much poverty, so much crime, so much uncertainty, bad leaders everywhere in their political governments, so much division, so much religious and racial division. You know what? Just so much hatred. Humans were always crazy and had problems, but things are worse now. You're probably scared to go out a lot and go to your usual grocery stores and malls, right? Because there's so much crime and active shootings, and right, it's hard to get a job. There's a lot of fake jobs. Even if you apply, no one hires you because they're fake. Those jobs, those companies don't want to hire anyone. They still post them. Just the psychological torture. You know what I mean? All this stuff then would fall under these examples of there's great fear, disputes, and violent deaths, right? People just being shot in broad daylight. Criminals are more bold now. Okay, this is what it means. When people are calamities will fall upon the people. One from the human conduct of evil or sin, right? Like crime, evil behavior, but also from natural disasters, which is happening now, earthquakes, floodings, things like eclipses, which happen in Ramadan, which is another sign the world is about to end. Muslims believe there's going to be 2 eclipses in the month of Ramadan. One already happened April 8, 2024, which I explained is actually connected to me. Something happened for me that day that was divine, where God helped me after I was being persecuted all these years. So when things are changing in my life, right, when I'm going through different levels of the spiritual life that God gave me, then things happen in the world. You know what I mean? At the same time, in my testimony in the future, I will give you full details of all the stuff I've been through. Then you'll see examples more, God willing. Right now, it's too long, and I'm not in a stable situation due to the persecution. I'm in bad situations, even though God is stabilizing my life slowly. This April 2024, which is why then the eclipse happened April 8. So a lot of things are happening same time that I'm going through something specific from demonic attack or persecution. So it's connected to me is what I was trying to say. So calamities will fall upon the people, so much so that a man shall not find a shelter to shelter himself from oppression. Okay, a man doesn't mean male, it just means human. So yeah, you agree. People today don't know where to go to get help most of the time, but things are still okay, right? Okay, but it means it's going to get so worse. You're not going to find a place to run to. Can you believe that? That's scary, right? It means maybe there's going to be a war that would probably cause that. And it's right. And everywhere you go, right, there's going to be so much. Because usually war just means, right, another country is bombing you, attacking you. Okay, but within your own country, you're fine, right? But if there's also crime happening within the country, everywhere in this world now almost, right, like the U.S., okay, you're running away from criminals in your own country and maybe some other, and then some other countries probably bombing you, right? That's why it's going to be so dangerous. You're not probably going to know where to run. And other ways that would happen where you're not going to know where to run. So there will be battles. Sorry about that noise. Demons do that. They always make noise around me. It just means human beings are making noise around me. There will be battles and fitnas before the appearance of this leader, okay? The spiritual leader. They're not a prophet, okay? They're just a leader, that's supernatural. So yeah, fitna means like tribulation or evil. So battles, right? You can agree. Israel versus Palestine, Russia versus Ukraine, and similar ones that are coming soon. China attacking its own people too. It seems like a battle. And they probably will attack Taiwan maybe very soon, which are the two countries I tried to go to in 2019 and in 2021 when my life got attacked more. And that happened where those countries got attacked by the devil. So 2019, the devil did COVID to China. Why China? Why not another country? I was trying to go there. They're trying to prevent me from helping the world, because what I came to do is divine. You know, it's not normal help. In Taiwan, when I tried to go there, things got worse for them. Obviously, it's not safe anymore because of China trying to attack them. And then flooding, earthquakes is happening in Taiwan more now, and I can't go there. So even God is stopping me. Even God's like, don't go. But at least I have to leave this country. The U.S. is not good for me. It is just the worst country to live in. I will always be grateful for all the wonderful things I experienced here, right? As I grew up here. You know, it just means there's just a lot of bad humans here. Our country is never guilty. It's just a land, right? It's just the earth. You know, only evil humans and the bad things they do. That's what you want to hate. You don't want to hate a race, ethnicity, gender. That's you being unjust and evil yourself. But I'm just saying, for me, right? Because demons persecute me. They need certain places where such people who could be used to bother you are there as a huge number, which is like this country. I gotta get out of here, okay? God stops me every time I try to, obviously, by allowing demons to persecute me. And now there's another reason, technically, that's personal. I just hope it stops and hurries up, because I just want to go. I can't wait for this personal situation to take more of my time, because I've suffered so much. I don't really have the energy to give time to a personal thing. You know what I mean? Something personal. I always tell God to just give me peace. Just let me be okay. Let me just go somewhere, buy a house or build a house. You know, then I'm okay with you asking me to go do something for your creation. But can I please get some peace, some rest? Because I'm not being allowed right now by God to rest. You know, it's just bad event after bad event, danger after danger. My life is just weird. So physically, I'm depleted. So, spiritually, I'm depleted. You know, my health, everything is just difficult. You know, I don't have disease or anything, but, you know, sometimes demons try to cause me bacteria infection, you know, by when I try to buy food or get food from, like when I was homeless, nonprofits, they would try to push me to get food that's spoiled. And I studied health, so I know how to figure that stuff out. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Things you cannot necessarily see that will show you if food is spoiled. I can, you know? So, but sometimes, you know, I just get stomach aches and I just get sick for no reason. Like that. It's just, and the stomach, the digestive system is a place where usually stress can cause you to get sick, you know? Because it's so connected to the sort of the middle of the body where you're feeling a lot of things. It's like your heart, to some degree, it's like your feeling area, right? If you're too stressed, you can get sick there, right? Being harassed every day, crime being done to me every day, police constantly being used to bother me, you know, try to scare you. And, you know, so I'm not scared of Mojave. I'm just saying they're trying to, you know, because they put witchcraft on the vehicle, witchcraft on the cop. I don't actually see them normally, you know. I see this weird, evil thing attacking my heart with this boom, 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 this fear. I have to rebuke it. I have to tell the demons to leave. I have to do spiritual things. And then the human becomes normal again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not them. Usually, I really love cops. And when I used to see them, I always felt comfortable. You know what I mean? Some people don't like them. As long as you're a good person, I love you. Just so you know. I only hate evil human beings. But I would never be unjust to them because I'm not evil myself. You get me? I'd always be just with them. I just wouldn't mix with them. So, right, when I just see a cop, you could just dislike them, right? Whether they're good or evil. Just when I say cop, I don't mean that person because we don't know who they are. I don't know what evil they've done. I mean just cop, okay? I actually like them. You know what I mean? And demons always try to use whoever I normally would like or who would greet me usually, because they usually, when they see me greet me, they're very nice to me. I'm not joking. Without demonic interference, human beings just like me. They just greet. They can't see me. They don't know who I am, but whatever God shows them of me, right, the sort of blind way they see me, they're just attracted to me. They're just pulled to me. They're always going to greet me. They're always going to be nice to me. So I remember that about them, and I try to remind myself of that when they're being possessed and they're becoming so evil in front of me. I just remember that. I try to separate the demon from them as much as I can, because most of the time they're not doing something to bother me directly. They're just being possessed to be noisy, loud, crazy, reckless, weird in the environment. I attack their demon, then I tell the thing to get out. It resists. The human looks like they're being beat up by a punch. Like when you're punching someone, they just lose control over their hands, their feet, because I'm telling the demon to get out of those areas, and the human just gets weak like that, and they just sit down. So I can prove these are demons, okay? Because I can command the demon to do certain things, and the human starts to behave a certain way. I can prove it easily, okay? The power God gave me, and that these are the average human like you was possessed. You don't want to necessarily act like you're not possessed and come to me, because I'll expose you. God gave me power over demons, okay? So I can just expose you if you're possessed, okay? So every time a fitna, right, which is like evil, tribulation, something bad, has come to end, another one will start, right? So right now, these things are happening, right? As signs at the end of the world. Every time something bad happens and it ends, and we all think, yay, something bad happens next, something political in the country, in the government, the way things are just getting worse and worse. Globally as well. Maybe you think the Russia-Ukraine thing will end soon, but then now Israel-Palestine is starting, right? It's like, right, because they kind of agreed to ceasefire, but then, right, it's just going to get worse, okay? A war will happen. I just don't know the details of it, because that's something only God can know. The people will be troubled so much, which means human beings, to an extent that they will long for death. So people will start to want to die because of so much evil happening in the world, okay? It is going to be this bad, guys, okay? Things are already bad everywhere you go. I'm sure a lot of you are unemployed and suffering, but it's going to be so bad, you're going to want to die, okay? Which is not normal. It is this time that then this leader, Mahdi Abdulahi, will be sent. Keyword sent. They could be here right now, okay? They could be alive. They could be going through crazy nonsense from the devil. It just means sent, meaning God is going to say go. Because when God sends a leader, it means he spoke to them to some degree, right? If God wants to talk to them directly, he will. But sometimes he sends angels down, like Angel Gabriel. They're given the mission, like what to do. And that's what sent means. They're actually sent. You know what I mean? Like they're actually sent to you. So in the sent, therefore, is the details. Specific country, they're not going to be able to spread themselves to every country or city, right? They have one body. Sent, therefore, would mean specific location first. They have to start off. You get me? It'll probably be this country, because this is where all the evil is usually starting and all the crazy stuff is happening more. There's a lot of demonic attack here. But you never know where they're going to be sent. Maybe they'll be sent to Muslims first, so that then they first get Muslims to work with them and then go spread justice and morality to the world, because the people of God are Muslims. Islam is the original religion of God Almighty. It's just that it's corrupted. Christianity is the corrupted version of Islam. So for that reason, when Jesus was sent, whatever, right? I'm sorry. When Jesus was sent, Islam is what he came down with. So for that reason, when it was corrupted after, Jesus was no longer here, God took him up, to himself, which means, we don't know where he was taken, right? But up, okay, above the earth, right? You're not going to say he's in heaven. No, you don't know where he is. Just God took him up, okay? He took him out of this physical world. So for that reason, another prophet was sent after him, which is Muhammad, which Muslims, are following, even though he's not here. So you're not really following, right? But okay, for that reason, after Jesus was no longer here, the religion, the scripture got corrupted, which was the Torah, which is today the Bible. Whatever came out of that, right, that corruption is Christianity. So for that reason, it's Islam, but it's a corrupted version of Islam, Christianity, okay? So for that reason, Muslims are here, and they are the people who are in God's true religion, but they're evil as hell, okay? They don't have any problem with the perversion and sexism in the religion. Only some do, and they try to avoid being around Muslims as much, okay? And they benefit from going to non-Muslim countries usually because Muslim countries are going to try to practice that evil in their government. They're going to force it because they don't separate religion from government. You get me? Why would you, right? God's religion should control your government. If you believe in his religion, right, as a whole country, right, you're not hurting other people like that. Because, right, it obviously gives you free will, okay? You're not going to force a non-Muslim. But since usually everyone is Muslim, okay, then they put it into their government. But if it's corrupted like it is now, now that's dangerous, right? So, right, a lot of Muslims like me would not be told by God to ever go to Muslims, okay? That's something that is not a good idea now. So it's only in the future that he thinks that's a good idea first, that he would tell you to do that if God ever chose you, right? But, okay, so, yeah. So it's when things are this bad, which is very soon, because basically 90% of the signs of the end of the world has already happened, everyone. Ever since 2019 till now, it's that fast, okay? Which is when my persecution from demonic got worse. It's just a few years, okay? So these other ones could happen so fast, and then this leader can be sent, okay? Just a few years. If this leader is actually real, okay? Only God knows. And then after that, Muslims believe Jesus will be brought down again by God and be sent to you as well. And obviously that would help Christians who are obsessed with him. When I say obsessed, obviously they're obsessed with him. They don't just follow him normally. They're obsessed with him. They follow him first and not the Father, which is what they believe is the original God, right? Anyways, he's going to help them, obviously, and be like, I was a prophet, a man. You were worshiping me. You were committing a big sin. Muslims were right all along. They're going to not be happy, okay? Because they think he's going to come down and continue their nonsense of accusing God of having qualities of a creation, of having a son. You're accusing God of mating them, doing something sexual. You're crazy as hell. Or some other way he could produce. That's disgusting. God is greater than us. He's not going to have our qualities, okay? Another sign, right, that this leader is coming soon is they will be sent at a time of intense disputes and differences among people and earthquakes. Right now, earthquakes and flooding is something I would say is starting right now, right? I would say the end of 2023 till now, 2024, it's April right now. There's a lot of flooding and a lot of earthquakes globally, especially in Taiwan. I forgot the other countries. Okay, you already get the point, everyone. Things are coming. I told you there's going to be a big event that's going to happen soon. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's this one, maybe someone's coming. They believe there's a double eclipse. An eclipse already happened April 2024, April 8th. So it wasn't double, but who knows? Maybe that was a mistake that they think it's double, but maybe it's the next Ramadan. You get me? Or the next Ramadan, or the next Ramadan, which is the month Muslims fast, which is not normal. You get me? Because that's a month God is obviously, we would say, happy. Muslims are worshiping him. It's a good month in God's eyes, correct? Because it's a month he created to be worshipped more, right? Through fasting for his sake. So for God to do something, right, sort of like bad, right, an eclipse is a bad thing, okay? It's like a natural disaster. Okay, man. It means, we would say God many times was not happy with the human race because they've always been sinful and crazy. But there are times we would say he's more unhappy, right? So it just shows how unhappy God is, okay? The humans have become very sinful, like LGBT, okay? They believe there's going to be this leader, right? They'll come out and an inner tribal fight will take place in the same year. The places will be looted and a battle will erupt in Mina, which is a place in the Middle East in which many people will be killed. They believe that in the month of Dhul-Qa'dah, I was reading the English version, sorry. Dhul-Qa'dah, that's how they make it seem. So after Ramadan, it's Shawwal, Dhul-Qa'dah, and Dhul-Hijjah. So it's like the 11th month of the Islamic year. They believe tribes will fight, which means Muslims. They'll fight each other. So sad. They'll be looted and there'll be a battle in Mina. Okay, and then many people will be slain and there's going to be blood flowing everywhere until it runs down over the Jamaratul Aqba. So that's a location. And they believe this leader will flee to a point between the corner and the maqam will be forced to accept people's allegiance. So they believe, right, this spiritual supernatural leader will come before Prophet Jesus. They believe his name is Mahdi Abdulahi. They believe all this battle and all this craziness will happen, as well as all the other signs at the end of the world happening, which I already told you has happened so far. I've seen it with my own eyes in the prior episodes I explained. And then they believe, right, again, they think he's Arab and they think he's going to come from the Arabic people. So for that reason, that could be the problem. The devil could have corrupted that. He could be from another race. Okay, so for that reason, we don't know who or what they are. If this leader, let's just say leader, is ever going to come down, okay, you don't know what race, ethnicity he's going to come from. They just believe it's Arab because, right, these books obviously have been corrupted by the devil, just like the Quran. So the devil takes some details and he leaves some truth, right? I do believe it's possible they will be persecuted because the devil knows who they are, such as how he knows, right, a little bit of the fact that I came to do divine things and I'm being persecuted, okay? So that's just like the knowledge God can give them, and they don't have to come out to people and be like, hey, everyone, I'm sent by God, in order for devils to persecute them, you know? They can just persecute you earlier, like some prophets were persecuted right when they were babies, you get me? Bad things happen. Like the king just looks for them. He just wants to kill that baby, okay? Like that. Obviously, God's not going to make them die. You get the point. So they believe, right, this leader, people will be forced to pledge their allegiance to him. People means Muslim. You get me? Because what does non-Muslim technically have to do with him, right? Since Muslims already are in God's religion, if God sends down a leader, since they're going to obviously be Muslim, because I told you this is the correct religion of God, Muslims are going to be the first people to be like, oh no, the leader's here. we didn't notice you, sorry. And they're going to then pledge their allegiance. Allegiance means they're going to follow this person because they're from God. They're not going to misguide you, okay? Regular humans, if they're moral, they could be bad the next day. They can make mistakes, even if it's not intentional. Okay, but someone God chose, God guides them. God tells them what to do, okay? They're divine. And they believe God will transform this leader in one night, right? At first, they're just going through persecution. They're just going through life. And they don't know who they are, so they're going to be confused a lot, okay? God is not going to tell them for that reason. And they have nobody, obviously. They have no family. They have nothing. So that's why the persecution is so extreme for them. You get me? They have no support. And Muslims don't know about this person, what they're going through, okay? So that's another reason why they're being persecuted. If Muslims, right, would normally support them, right? How can they support them? They don't know what's happening, right? Or God will hide them. So then when they find out, right, to some degree things will happen. They'll figure it out. They'll pledge allegiance. They'll be like, oh, you're the leader of from God. We'll follow you. They'll follow them like they follow a prophet, right? Like the way they follow Muhammad, or Nabi Isa. Oh, I miss my prophets. Every time I say their name, the Arabic way, my heart melts. You don't know how much I love my prophets. Actually, they're the reason why. Not the reason why, sorry. When I was a kid, that's one thing I noticed about myself as a kid. I just loved these prophets. I loved prophets and messengers as if I met them. There's just this love God put in my heart, and I seem to understand them a lot. And now that I'm actually being persecuted, I'm not a prophet or messenger, and I seem to go through what they did. I obviously love them more. The amount of strength they had is very difficult, man. Right? If humans are abusing you all day, you'd curse them, and God would send a destruction, okay? A lot of them just prayed for those people. God, give them one more chance. It doesn't mean God is not wise and doesn't make that decision. No, it's times where it's okay, where God will usually, he's okay with punishing them. These person exercised so much, right? Mercy. So that's why they're example. You get me? Humans are supposed to do that for each other as much as they can. But in order to be just and righteous, there's a limit. There's a time you're supposed to give up on people and curse them, okay? We can't be patient with you forever. So it depends, okay? But if God sends you to be a leader, you came to save these human beings. You know what I mean? From the devil. You came to help them go to God so their soul is saved by God. So you're going to have to be patient with them when they're being possessed to harass you all day. You can't just get mad. That's the point. They're bad, you know. They need help. When you pray for them, they get help, okay? The Euphrates will disclose a mountain of gold. Do you agree 2023 people are talking about gold and they're looking for it? They're crazy. They're fighting over it. There you go. This is how you know Islam is correct, and it has a lot of truth about the end of the world. My goodness, I don't remember reading this when I was a kid because it's been so long. But now that I'm seeing things, right, because we're in the end of the world, we're seeing things physically happen now. I can sort of feel, right? My body's not sort of shivering, right? Like that sort of feeling you have. But I can feel, right? I can feel different because these things are happening recently. So the final hour, which means, you know, the world ending, will not come until the river Euphrates, which flows through Syria and Iraq and finally opens in the Gulf, will disclose a mountain of gold over which people will fight and die. So they're going to fight over gold. Humans are greedy and crazy. They're going to fight over that gold and they're going to die. That's another thing that, right, is believed to happen before the world ends. So people will fight. 99 out of every 100 shall die, and every one of them shall say, perchance I shall be the one to succeed. They all think they're going to succeed, but they're all going to die except one. In another narration, it said that, which means hadith, whoever is present at that time when the Euphrates discloses a mountain of gold shall not take the gold. So it's also believed that gold might actually expose itself, but no one will actually be able to take it. Okay. The emergence of the Sufyani. So Sufyani means a person who descended from Abu Sufyan, which is a past human Muslim male figure. They have a long history. I don't really have to explain that. Don't worry about it. It's just someone in the past that has sort of, right, historical connection in Islam. So someone, right, from his descendant, right? It just means humans born way after his time, who are from sort of his right bloodline or whatever, will emerge before this leader. So this leader, right, Mahdi Abdulahi, they believe this evil person will appear in front of them, okay? Like the bad guy, okay? And this bad guy is called Sufyani. He's gonna come out of Damascus. According to some weak narrations, they believe it's weak narration. Only God knows if it's true or not. His name will be Urwa bin Muhammad. So they believe that's his real name. So he's a tyrant, and he will spread corruption and mischief on the earth before Imam Mahdi. Imam means like leader. He will be such a tyrant that he will kill the children and rip out the bellies of women. That's crazy, right? When he hears about this leader, right, he will send an army to seize and kill this leader. However, the earth will swallow his army before it even reaches this leader. Deja vu, right? That's pretty scary and stressful to imagine. So most of the human beings who follow this evil tyrant will be from the tribe of Kalb. Again, they believe he's Arab. He will kill by ripping the stomachs of women and even kill the children. A man from the family of the prophet, because they believe this leader is going to be a descendant from the prophet Muhammad. So they think that's why he's Arab, this leader. Only God knows only God knows the leader, what their, right, race or ethnicity is. So no one will be saved, you know, when the earth swallows this evil tyrant and all the human beings he has with him like an army. No one will be saved. It says, except the one who had informed the others about them. The world will not come to pass until a man from among my family, whose name will be my name, rules over the Arabs. They believe, this is the leader, okay? They believe he will fill this world with such justice and fairness, just as it was filled with oppression, such as now in the world, or world is oppressed. They believe the religion will continue to be established until there are 12 I forget it. That's not a good example. If only one day of this world remained, they believe these are the words of the prophet, okay? When I say anything to you, they believe this is what the prophet said. If only one day of this world remained, Allah, which is God Almighty, would lengthen that day until he raised up in it a leader who belongs to me or my family, whose father's name is the same as my father's. So the prophet, his father's name is Abdullahi. They believe this leader, right? This leader's father's name, right? They believe that name will be Abdullahi. Okay, so they think his name, right, is Mahdi, but they think his last name, I'm sorry, not last name, his father's name, because in the United States, last name means your grandfather, right? His father's name, right, they believe is Abdullahi. Okay, so they believe he's Mahdi Abdullahi because the prophet was called Muhammad Abdullahi. Okay, he will fill the earth with that word is weird. It says equity, but basically it just means equality and justice. It has been filled with oppression and tyranny. They believe the physical features of this leader will be a broad forehead and a prominent nose. They will fill the earth with equality and justice, as it was filled with tyranny and oppression before. And they will rule for 7 years. They believe this leader will lead for 7 years. So it's a very short time, you know. But again, only God knows, right? It doesn't mean, right, that technically, obviously means they're very young, okay? Probably 30s to 40s, when God actually tells them to go out and be a leader. Because Muslims also believe this leader at least will reach the age of 30. And then sort of after that, right, maybe a few years could pass, and then they'll be they'll be sent by God Almighty to actually go, you get me, be sent to the people, the human race, to go help them and be their leader. So then, right, it's noise, as always. Then they believe they'll rule for 7 years. Again, they're ruling the world, okay? Of course, they're going to Muslims. Muslims will pledge allegiance to this leader. They'll follow this person. And then, right, they'll have to do exactly what this person tells them, which is the same thing I told you. Their scripture is corrupted. They're going to have to admit they're crazy and they sinned all these years. And then, right, non-Muslims, a lot of them will be like, yay, God's religion, you know, is back. Because humans would love, right, an example, someone supernatural to come down, right, and really show them the truth about God. Because this person will be a connection to God for you, you know. You could ask them something, and they can prove it to you to some, you know what I mean? Because they're chosen and sent by God. So it's easy for them to prove to you Islam is from God, okay? Well, Muslims today can't. You get me? They can just use logic and wisdom with you. But can they show you something divine? No, right? Okay, so that's why everyone will follow them easily, because they can show you something that would make the humans who usually resist religion, right, make them just be like, sure, let's go, man, and then follow you, you know. Whew, no one's going to be killed, okay, for not being a Muslim. That's evil, obviously. They believe God will make the provisions for his emergence within a single night. You believe if God is going to send down a supernatural leader, that God would, right, give them the tools to be that leader, right? Give them everything they need. Knowledge, wisdom, strength, everything. You get me? Because it's not a regular human leader, like a pastor, like, hey, everyone, this is God's book. That's a human, okay? This is someone supernatural. They're like close to a prophet, okay? They just don't have a scripture with them of their own. So for that reason, they need a lot of strength, a lot of knowledge, because they basically came to fight with the devil, okay? And the devil has power. So for that reason, Okay, God will change them. You get me? They'll be changed because they're not in their full perfect supernatural level yet. But God will change them, right? In one night, as Muslims believe, like they'll be transformed, you know? Only God knows again. And they believe this person, obviously they believe they don't have kids and they're not married. So probably by the time this person comes out to be a leader, they're not married. Or right, if God maybe let them get married, it's like new. It's close to the time they'll be a leader because the persecution makes them reach, you know, basically a little bit after their 30s because of the extreme persecution. They just didn't get married earlier, okay? They're always running around looking for protection. Just like prophets, sometimes like our prophet Muhammad had to leave his original place, Mecca, and go to Medina, you know, which is in Saudi Arabia. You get me? His own people were persecuting him. So this leader, it means their own race will harass them a lot too, or ethnicity as well. You get me? Their own Muslims will bother them too, okay? Because Muslims are corrupted now. So just like when prophets used to come down, the people who were already following God's religion, which were usually the Jews at that time, right? It's not going to call Jews, right? They were called Israel. Jews kind of today means like more like the religion, you know, like Judaism. But you know what I mean? They might have already been following that prior Torah that was corrupted, for example. You get me? But then they would persecute Jesus. You get me? Because they're evil. They're following a corrupted version. So persecution, therefore, will always come from the people who actually are following God's book first and others. Because that's why the prophet is being sent down or a leader is being sent down. Because they're corrupted and he has to fix something or they have to fix something. So those who are following, therefore, God's religion that's corrupted, since they're following a corrupted version because they're not moral enough, right? They like the evil in it. They'll be part of the persecutors. Okay? So that's kind of sad, you know? That's just what's going to happen always. They don't always have people to follow them right away. There's always going to be that persecution then. But the good people who are just right in this world, who would just follow you as long as you're from God, right? They don't have any personal reason to say no to you out of hatred or evil in their heart because they're good in heart, regardless of what religion they are today. Those are the people who always follow God's leaders first. Boom. You know, they pledge their allegiance to you first. Obviously, this leader, their life is a bit easier than a prophet because they're coming down at a time where Muslims are already here. You get me? Muslims might just not understand this is the leader. They just might be confused, right? Because they're possessed. God is not going to reveal this person to you at first. That's kind of their reason. A little bit, yeah, they're evil, but they're human beings who can easily change and repent. You know, they don't mind changing. It's not hard. A lot of Muslims don't mind flipping their morality. You get me? When God tells them their Quran is corrupted. Well, past human beings, no one even, right, worship the correct God, which is the God Muslims follow, which is just God himself. So you get me? They're going to have a more resistance to a prophet because he was just completely bringing down the religion then, right? The religion wasn't even there. But now Islam is here, which is God's religion. So this leader, their job is therefore to do what? Exactly, not bring the religion down, bring the justice down, the morality that this religion doesn't have anymore. You know, they're not going to change the name. They're not going to change who you worship, but they're going to tell you you're following evil and God is not evil. So their job is to take out the corruption in God's scriptures and books of past, right? Like the Bible today and religion overall. So then they can bring down justice because morality will come down in order to bring down that justice. They believe, right, his forehead will be broad. Oh, he's noises, I'm sorry. So they believe their forehead will be broad and that their nose will be high. So they believe that after a death of a ruler, okay, so somewhere in Muslim countries, usually the Middle East, obviously, because it's from the Arabs, there's going to be a death of a ruler, okay? There will come a dispute between the people, therefore. At that time, a citizen of Medina, right, they're going to flee from Medina and go to Mecca. While in Mecca, certain people will approach him, meaning the leader, because they believe the leader will go to this place. They think the leader will go to the Middle East, okay, or Saudi Arabia. They believe the leader will be approached and they'll pledge their allegiance to them. And then a huge army will be coming out of Syria. Can you believe this? These are Muslims who will try to actually persecute the leader that God sent from themselves. There's obviously, if I'm telling you Islam is the correct religion of God, which means Muslims are the correct followers of God. Whoever God sends down to therefore bring down truth, okay? Get all evil out of his scripture that's corrupted. Exactly. Muslims will be persecuting this person, trying to attack this person. Don't think they're going to be nice, okay? Because that's how you know they're evil, okay? That's why they follow the book that's corrupted. If they were good people, there would be no problem. Again, Muslims have good and bad. I'm just saying the majority are evil. Therefore, that's why it's believed that they're going to be the ones to actually, again, the persecution would happen to this leader from all over the world because demons possess anyone to persecute you who's bad. But this is talking about a specific time, okay? Specific time in this leader's life, right? Right before people recognize them as a leader, right? Pledge allegiance to them. They believe the Muslims will sort of be like that last group, right? Where some will pledge the allegiance, but then others will send an army to attack them, okay? And then the army will be swallowed into the earth because God will do that. That's a divine thing only God can do. God is not going to let you touch him, okay? I mean, touch this leader. This evil army is going to come from Syria, which means Muslims. They'll try to attack this leader. They'll be in Baida, which is between Mecca and Medina. So they'll come from Saudi Arabia, which is not really difficult to believe, right? In the Middle East, that's the country right now that takes away women's rights the most. That's the most evil, sexist, and nasty in Muslim countries. Why? Because that's where the Prophet was born. That's his country. That's his ethnicity or people. So, I mean, Arab, you know what I mean? There's different ethnicities. Do you hear that noise? That's demonic. That's not normal people. They intentionally do that to harass my recording, okay? Just violent noises on their vehicles. They will not drive normally by me, okay? So I'm not in a bad place. Other people, many of them are kind of calm, okay? Some of them just, boom, do that to the vehicle. So usually the place the leader will, the last place, right, a prophet was sent to, right? In this case would be Muhammad was the last prophet. So where did he come from? The Middle East, Arabs, etc. Specific place, Saudi Arabia. They're going to have the most evil humans come out of it. You get me? The most dangerous Muslims will be from that country because their demons are going to be like, we're going to attack the next leader from the people that should be following the leader more. You get me? Because they're the people of the prophet, Muhammad. So instead of them being the first ones to support someone, right, that's like their prophet, they're going to actually try to go and kill this person. It's crazy. When people see this, right, when Muslims see that these human beings who tried to attack this leader were swallowed into the earth by God Almighty, what does that show you? This is God's leader, right? God is saying, this is my leader. So then Muslims will see that and they'll pledge allegiance to this person. Oh, you're sent. We didn't recognize you. Sorry, you know? Large numbers of people from Iraq will come and others and pledge their allegiance to this person. Then a person from Quraysh, which is like the tribe the Prophet came from, Muhammad, they will send an army to attack them. So they're going to do it again. That's how you know it's not human beings, it's demons. Because why would you do it if you know God's going to protect someone, right? Why are you trying to attack someone again? Because it's just what demons do, okay? They possess you to attack people of God who are sent to save you and stop your evils. Well, you get me? Just to attack them. The devil knows they can't do that, you know? It's just they just want to attack the person. So another attack will happen where they'll try to kill this person. They'll send another army. Again, Muslims are trying to kill their spiritual leader. So if God actually sends down supernatural leaders, I'm telling you right now, Muslims are going to try to kill that person. That's dangerous. Because these are the people of God. That doesn't mean Muslims are bad, okay? I'm Muslim too. I'm saying the bad ones, the ones who are responsible for our religion being corrupted, their children, right? Because those are people in the past. Those forefathers, right? Their children who are continuing that evil are going to obviously feel threatened because justice will come back and they can't do evil anymore. Right? So even though they know God's leaders, you can't kill them, it says. It doesn't matter, okay? They technically don't know who the person is. You get me? So that's why they sometimes think they can kill you. Not because humans think they can kill supernatural people. No, they don't know who you are. They just feel threatened. You get me? They're blind. So when they try to kill the person, God overpowers that. Right? That means demons are doing the killing. They're the ones trying to do the killing, or humans are just possessed. Therefore, God, when he protects that leader, makes these evil humans get swallowed into the earth, and then they send another army again, and then they, right, get overpowered by God. This time, no one knows how God will do that. He'll just, right, destroy them. Now, you get me? More people will be like, oh my God, this is from God. This person is from God, okay? So during this leader's rulership, Islam will spread to the world again. They will remain till 7 years. You know, they'll lead for 7 years after people already, right, know who they are. And then they'll pass away, they'll die. And Muslims will perform their janazah, which means funeral. So it's possible that this person will not live that long. They'll probably live maybe up to 40 years. Because they believe they'll start to almost get persecuted at a high level around the age of 30 a little bit. And then beyond. You know, no one believes they're less than 30 by the time they're extremely persecuted. They're not 20 or something. And they're not 40 or 50. You know, and if they're going to rule for 7 years, you and I, let's estimate that. If this is actually true, they'll probably die by age 40. Again, God is going to kill them, okay? He's going to take their life. It's someone that they believe, right? God doesn't want to live too long. They just came to help you and then they're going to die. Sorry, I'm walking by traffic. So when I estimate it, I always tell God, well, if this person is real, wouldn't that then mean they're going to die around 40? You know? You get me? They're not going to just live. Usually prophets lived a long time. Unless... So there's a lot of corruption in Muslim stories about prophets. Where the devil just makes it seem like, right, humans are so powerful, they just killed someone who's supernatural. Humans cannot touch supernatural people. Okay? Demons cannot touch supernatural people. It's extra power God gives the devil. Okay, so all this sort of fearlessness, right, of sending an army to someone that you're scared of, is their demons doing the sending of the army, not you, the human. Okay? You're blind by then, you're dead. You can't understand. You can't see things. And those demons, right, God gave them the extra power to not be scared, to do such a, right, sort of dominant thing, right? Why? Because God is the one who is doing that to the leader and to past prophets. It's not the devil. It means God is changing what's usually logical or natural, and he's putting more power into demons, making these leaders suffer, whoever they are, past or future. So please don't think demons and humans are this powerful to actually try to kill supernatural people. It's God who wants you to die, or God who wants you to be persecuted, God who wants you to go through that. He just likes to do that as your sort of test. You know, as Muslims believe our purpose in life, the reason we're created is to worship God, but then they believe we suffer in life because it's a test. You're supposed to be moral. That's how you pass the test. The other way you pass test is by worshiping God, but you could be misguided on that. At least if you're moral, God will have mercy on you. He won't put you in hell. He'll find a way to save you, you know? Okay, and then a group of Muslims will fight for the truth. This is how you know the current Muslims today who act like their religion is not corrupted. This is how you know that's not true. That there are ways that without even knowing, they're admitting to the fact that their religion is corrupted, or that these narrations that are man-made telling you about the future is already telling them their religion is corrupted now. Because it's saying that a leader will come to fix it. A leader will come to bring justice to the world. If Islam is not corrupted, why do you need a leader to come down and give you justice? Why don't just the Muslim preachers spread the religion? They're enough, right? Because God's religion is in good Oh, this annoying devil ruins my words. The content is good. They could just spread it, right? They could just preach to you. That already tells you it's corrupted. You get me? If they believe a leader has to come down and fix it, fix something, you know, bring justice. How can you bring justice if justice is not already here? Don't you bring something because it's not there? So if they have to bring down justice and get rid of oppression, these Muslims want to act like we're hypocrites that, no, they're just helping us with oppression. We're being oppressed at the end of the world, so we need help. No. You know? That's one of the things you're saying. That's one of the things these hadiths are saying the leader will do. The first thing they came to do is bring down the truth and justice. Okay, that means then the truth and justice are not here. Correct? It's not the Islam today. So without knowing, the hadith is already guiding them, but they just don't see the terminology like truth, justice. They don't see that. If their religion already had that, there's no reason for this leader to come down, okay? For them to come down with truth and justice means the truth and justice is not in the current religion, okay? It's not just to stop oppression, which you agree.